Thank you.
The Claims Committee into session. Time is 6 p.m. Take a roll call. Councilman Mike Miranda.
Present.
And councilperson or councilwoman Cynthia Antoinette Daly here. Okay, we'll reflect that all of us are here and we will get started. We have several claims to go over here in the committee. Do you both have your packets? Okay. We're going to start with the first claim. It's going to be 04-022326. The complainant is Danielle Branham. Is Danielle here? Anyone for that claim? No? Okay. So basically, this claim has to do with a crash report where the claimant struck a pothole and damaged the right front tire. This happened on Park Avenue West in the right lane. There was a rather large pothole there. There's a photo in there if you folks would like to see it. I can tell you that I did observe that pothole that was there. It had been there for a little while, and I was told that the cone had been moved that had been in the pothole. The law director's recommendation is for reduced settlement of $250, which is the deductible of the insurance policy on this claim. And does anybody else in the committee have any questions about this one? Ms. Daly, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Were you okay? Do you have any questions?
Just looking at the amount the claim is for $780, but she does have a deductible of $250. So that means insurance would pay 400 and 500 and something. I didn't even minus it. I should have. Is that correct?
Yes, that's, and Mr. Madden, if you have anything to add, but that is what the law director recommended was paying the deductible.
That is correct. That is
530.
what I-
So we'd pay the 530.
We would pay
No,
the
we pay-
$250.
50 the deductible.
Yeah, and Miss Tracy Davis is also here for law directors. Tracy, you have anything to add with
Okay.
that? Okay.
All right, that sounds good to me.
On this one here, I'd like to take a motion to move this one forward.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that passes to be moved on. The second claim is claim 27-091725, Geneva Armistead. This is in reference to a sewer backup. It covered the basement, living room, and laundry room, dining room, half bath. The amount of the claim is for $9,787.92. Ms. Armstead stated that the homeowner's insurance will not cover the damages. And per Mr. Brown, in discussing the work order that was dated August 20th of 2025, the city's main water line was clear. Mr. Brown stated that the issue was caused by a systematic overload caused by the enormous amount of rain we got that day, that overwhelmed all the systems. The law director found a legal precedent that in cases where the rain event overwhelms the city's liability depends on whether the damage was caused by negligence. Based on the fact that the work order showed no blockage and the legal interpretation, the law director's opinion is that we move forward with a reduced settlement in the amount of $3,250. Is anyone here for Miss Geneva Armistead?
I'm the contractor that did the work. Geneva was planning on.
Would you like to come up, sir, and state your name?
He's from Stanley Steamer, so he did no, excuse me, Taylor Steamer, sorry. Excuse me.
Strike that.
Big difference between an S and a T. Excuse me, sir.
We got
Yes, sir.
Taylor Steamer, thank you. And he actually did the cleanup work at Geneva's home. So go ahead, sir.
I was just saying, so I didn't even know where to come. So I had called her to say, hey, where am I supposed to be? She didn't realize that today was the day because she never heard back from Tracy. So I called her when I was on my way and she was like, well, I never got an email back confirming the time. And so she was not prepared to come. any questions you have for me, I can definitely help you with, but she was wondering if she can, I don't know, bring it up at the next council meeting when she might be able to be here.
If I may comment on that, I actually spoke, I'm Tracy,
Okay,
and I spoke to Geneva directly on the phone
okay.
and told her, and I told her to call you. If she wanted you to appear.
Yeah.
So she was aware that it was tonight.
Okay. Well, I know
Yeah.
she'd mentioned, she said, well, she'd mentioned today, and then she said, I was supposed to get an email confirmation. I didn't know if that was true or not, but that's what she had said.
Okay.
Mr. Madden, is there anything you want to add in reference to this claim?
No, I mean, they've been very thorough. Basically, it comes down to whether it was negligence or whether it was from a rain event. And Mr. Brown from the service department says that the line was clear. We did recommend a reduced settlement because just to avoid litigation. That's if you actually got into it, I'm not quite sure how it would play out.
Does anybody on the committee have any questions? Anyone else have any questions? So it's the recommendation for the committee to consider moving this forward with a reduced settlement of $3,250. I have a motion.
I'll second.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion will carry and it will move forward. Tracy, you'll let her you'll get a hold of Miss Armistead and, okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Trying to move quickly. I know we got a short amount of time and we've got like 7 more to go through here. So this one is claim number 18-060925. This is Linda Bentley at 352 Home Avenue. This is in reference to turning from Mulberry Street on the 5th Street heading toward Bowman. She pulled to the south side of the street with the intention to park. And immediately after the turn by the sidewalk, her car went down hard and she had backed over a large hole. They looked into it and I believe it was Tracy researched this and researched the actual location of the large hole. And do you want to explain that, Tracy?
Yeah, I actually did a lot of research on this one. Basically, the hole that she's speaking of is located on the city engineering map, the GIS map, at or near 167 West 5th Street. The hole is not in the proper roadway, rather it is in the apron of an entrance to a vacated alley that was vacated in March of 1917. Looking at the Richland County beacon of the property ownership, it does show where both adjacent property owners are being assessed taxes for their portion of the vacated alley, which includes the sidewalk and the apron up into the right of way. So basically, unfortunately, the hole is still there. If you see the pictures that I've included with it, you can see where it's down to the brick underneath the roadway, but that is in the apron and not in the right of way of the road or in the alleyway. It is prior to the sidewalk going back to the alleyway. So in looking at our zoning of vacated areas, it's basically the adjacent property owners' property to maintain and not the city of Mansfield. And for that reason, the law director is requesting and recommending to deny the claim as it was not on city maintained roadway or alley.
And the amount of that claim was $2,163.40. Any comment from the committee members on this one?
So you're saying that the apron actually belongs to the owner of the property?
Correct. The
Okay.
vacated alleyway, from my understanding and reading through the legal code, it is the alleyway, the sidewalk, and the apron. It's all the way the property to the right of way, the roadway. And so that is split. One owner has 11 feet into the alleyway, the sidewalk, and the apron. The other has 4 feet. But they are being assessed out to the right of way.
Okay. So a recommendation is for her to seek the owners and to,
Or her automobile insurance.
okay.
Is there anyone here from Miss Bentley that would like? Yes, come on up, ma'am. you'd like to come up and state your name.
Yes, my name is Linda Bentley. My name is Linda Bentley. And I was going down Fifth Street toward Bowman, and I wanted to park.
Speaking to the microphone there.
Oh, hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh,
I'm a little hoarse.
Thank you.
Okay, hello?
Yeah,
Oh, that's better.
better.
Okay, I was on Fifth Street and I was headed toward Bowman from, what is that right there, Mulberry? Mulberry to Bowman. But I wanted to park, and you can only park on the one side. You can't park over by the school. There's a school, Westbury Street School or whatever, I don't know. So I saw that entranceway there, and I turned in. I didn't go all the way up the alley, just right by the sidewalk, right after the sidewalk. And boom, and I thought, what in the world? So I backed out. And when I backed out, it wasn't making a noise, it wasn't making a noise, and it drove okay. So I went on and parked. And I didn't pay any attention to it. My grandson lives right over there. So the next day I went over his house and he said, "What happened to your car?" I said, "What are you talking about?" Because I didn't go anywhere else except for back over his house the next day. And he said, "Your bumper down here is broken off." And I looked at him and I thought, yesterday. And I said, "Run down there and look in that little hole, down there by that alley." And he came back with the pieces. It was just a few houses up from it. He came back with all these pieces to my bumper. And I'm like, oh my God. So then I didn't know what to do. And people told me, take it up here to the claims department. And that's what I did. I took it to Baker's first to get an estimate. And they found that. And they found 3 of my tires have these metal things in them. And they showed me one, metal pieces. And I said, "What is that?" He said, "It's coming from the road work all the road works that they're doing." Now that's what they told me, because I would know. They said it's coming from the road work. I think it's 3 of them. All my tires have all these things, and I just pray that they don't go flat, or one of them don't. And they just told me it's coming from the roadway. And where I went down in the hole, it's a thing on the car. I don't know the name of it. It looks like a spiral. It's by each tire. It looks like a spiral thing, and they said it was broken. All I know is it's by the tires.
Okay.
And all I know,
It's probably, did you give an estimate to it's probably in there then.
It's
Oh,
spring,
yeah.
it's the spring she's speaking
Okay.
of.
I know. And then
Right spring without sport suspension, left spring without sport suspension, left rear spring broken, replace in pairs is what it says.
So that's all I know. And I've been waiting ever since. And I had car insurance. But I said, well, I thought if this is a city and they're not fixing the big holes, I didn't want to put it on my car insurance so it can sky high. And that's honestly why I didn't report it to my insurance. Because I'm thinking it's going to sky high. And everybody kept saying, take it up to the city, take it to the city.
So in the research that the law director's office did, that hole is actually not on city property that you struck. It's close to the roadway, but it's not in the roadway.
So who's responsible for that?
That would most likely be you, ma'am.
I mean, the people, the whole.
You could maybe, I mean, I'm not an attorney. I can't, advise you which way to go with it, but it's the law director's opinion and looking at it, it was not in the roadway.
Oh.
Miss Daly, did you have something?
Well, what about all the spikes in 3 of the tires? And this is what Baker's told me, because I don't know. I said, why is they have on my car, there's all kind of yellow marks on my tires.
I don't know about that. We're just dealing with this particular claim that has to do with your spring and the damage done when you hit the hole.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that
it
was
in there.
determined to not be on city property.
And they told me that it came from all the road work in the streets.
I have no idea on that. I can't comment on that one. I can tell you that we're looking at this one right now that has your spraying. Mr. Miranda or Miss Daly, do you have anything?
Do we have a copy of what the estimate of the
I do.
damages were?
Would you like to look at it?
Please.
Can they see the pictures?
We have. I think in the end of everything, we have to determine, first of all, if it happened on the public right of way or if we're liable for that.
Correct. And that's why I wanted to look at this, because looking at this, it's definitely addressing the damages from that pothole, and the pothole not being on property of the city, being the property of the homeowners. At that point, I would have to agree with the law director's office that the city not being liable, but if there's an option of you going, whether it's your insurance and having your insurance go to the homeowners or something of that nature, but I don't think, looking at what Baker's prepared here, I don't see that as being falling under the city's liability.
Okay. Did they
Miss
give you a
Daly, do
picture
you
of
have
all the
anything?
tires? No.
Okay, do I have a motion on this from the committee members?
Yes, I follow you're putting the motion, so I'll second the motion.
So the motion would be that we follow the law director's claim. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. The
Well,
motion
then-
would be to follow the law director's recommendation.
And that would be not to pay the claim and for you to seek out.
From the
Other means.
insurance, yeah.
Okay.
So I have a second on that?
Yes.
Seconded?
Mhm.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll move that on to deny that. The next claim moving forward is Tim Hilterman, 287 Central Avenue, claim number 05-022-527. Take your time, ma'am. This is in reference to traveling eastbound, 30 miles per hour. It looks like it happened, trying to find a location here. Straub Road, where he hit a large indentation in the roadway, lost front tire pressure. So Tracy's going to explain this, and rather me try to go through, it'll make it quick.
Basically, Tower Lakes is working on their extension. They hired a contractor by the name of, is it Dellinger, excuse me, Jim Dellinger of Dellinger Excavating. They actually did the work on behalf of the Phase 2 of Tower Lakes. Tower Lakes did not take out a cut permit to go across Straub Road, but Mr. Dellinger actually did the work, did a temporary fill in the middle of winter. And I have pictures of when the fill was done, and it looks to be, after doing all of the research, that there was snow before, the day before and the day of the claim. And it looks from the pictures that we've included with your claim that the plow going eastbound on Straub took out a portion of the asphalt fill, and that is what caused the indentation in the road that Mr. Hilterman hit. That it wasn't undone work from Mr. Dellinger, but it was rather, we believe it's from a plow. If you look at the picture, the lane that is shown where there is a portion out of it, that is the eastbound lane. And that is the width of the eastbound lane, and the plows are roughly 9 to 11 feet wide. And that to me looks as if it was plow damage. So our recommendation is to pay the full claim amount,
Of 470.73.
73.
$473.73 is the recommendation that the city pay that. Does anyone on the committee have any questions?
You're saying a plow would be able to dig the road out like that?
Absolutely.
What
The-
wasn't it covered with asphalt?
Yeah,
No?
there was a temporary asphalt fill for that area because they hadn't gone back in and filled it completely to the road construction. So it was a temporary patch, like what the
Mhm.
other side is on the westbound side. On the opposite side, if you look at the picture, you can see where the blacktop and the asphalt is full except for the area of brown where it looks like the plow took it out.
Could it, because I was gonna say, could it have not been done properly? But you said because it was temporary, the plow, it would have been that easy for the plow to dig it out, more or less?
Well, in our opinion, when we did the research on it, we don't foresee the
That's-
Dellinger excavating to only put the fill of the asphalt in the areas and not the brown area.
So would we be able to recover anything from the contractor?
Well, I spoke to Mr. Dellinger, and I will say this, that to keep in good graces with the city, he's already paid $4,190 some dollars to have the city go back and repair that,
Okay,
even though he did not feel he was responsible.
yeah.
So he's already paid $4,100 to go back
Okay,
and fix
sounds
that.
good, yes. Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone here, Tim Hilterman, for that claim? Okay. Moving forward, do I have a motion and a recommendation for the law director to pay that claim of $473 or $70.73?
I'll make the motion that that claim be paid.
Second?
Yes, second.
Second. Okay, we'll move forward with that then. All those in favor?
Aye.
The next claim is Ann Detmer. This is in reference again to some rock hitting a windshield. And this happened on, let me find it.
July 30th of 24.
Yeah, so this is an older claim. And like I said, we're trying to get it caught up. So Miss Detmer submitted a photo on July 30th of 24 showing a city work truck parked in the median and two estimates where the rock came. She did have a street supervisor come out, or the law
Yes.
director spoke to a street supervisor.
Yes.
And he stated he was called to the site where the damage occurred and spoke with the mowing crew, who advised they were mowing and trimming and did not realize the rock was thrown until she stopped and came back. MPD did a property report damage and that states city workers were doing the lawn care in that area as the claimant was passing by and her vehicle was struck by the rock. The recommendation on this is that we pay the lower of the two estimates for $310.30 she provided to fix the chip in her windshield. Is Ann or anybody here, Detmer? Okay. Any questions on this? I would entertain a motion on this one.
I'll make a motion to pay the claim of $310.30.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
And I am going to abstain from this one. I just want that on record. We'll move it forward with the two. Next one is claim number 11-032025, James Bell. On March 20th, he said they called the water department to report a water line that had broke. The water department said it was his water line to fix. He received a wasted water regulation tag to have it fixed in 5 days from the city. And he called B&B Drain Service, and they came on March 21st, the next day, to fix the water line. When they dug it up, and they basically said that it was ours, correct, Tracy?
Yes. No,
The-
it was on the
our-
neighbors.
The neighbors, okay. So
Yeah,
on
so
this
the-
one, the city had to be shut off the water,
Mhm.
and he determined the break was on the neighboring property and not on the claimant's property. So the law director located the city work order to confirm that issue, and the complainant submitted a paid receipt for us to pay that in the amount of $900. Would you like to comment on this one, or Director Madden? This is basically where we told him to fix it. We
Yes.
went out and put a tag and told him to fix it, so he fixed it. I mean, that's the gist of it.
Right.
And it's to position the law directors to pay that amount because of that, because he is ordered by the city to pay it for $900. Is there anyone here from Ms. James Bell here? Anyone here from Mr. Bell? Okay, that being said, do you guys have any questions on this one?
No question.
No questions? So I'd like to make a motion to follow law director's recommendation to move this forward in the amount of $900.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion will move on. We'll move that forward. The next claim is claim 12-050825, Matthew Roberts, 597 Durham Lane. He's stating that a water supply pipe burst on the corner of Middle Belleville and Sherwood. The water quickly began flooding the nearby houses, flowing downhill. The amount of water made the drain ineffective, and the backyards and side yards were flooded. The water department, this happened on April 17th, and the law director located a work order that was initiated on that same date by the city water department, where they replaced 9 feet of an 8-inch water main hose or pipe at the corner of Middle Belleville and Sherwood. Anything that you would like to add to this one, Tracy?
No, I mean, as we recommended that we pay it in full, because $378.21 is a very low amount for a flooded basement.
So basically, that was the city's liability on that, and the recommendation is to move this forward for $378.31. Do I have any questions from members of the committee?
No, ma'am.
So hearing that, do I have a motion to move this forward in the amount of $378.31?
I'll make a motion to follow the law director's decision to pay the $378.31.
Do I have a second? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And we'll move forward on that one. The next one is Justin Addy, 273 Davis Road. This claim is his backyard was destroyed when the city fixed a broken water line. $605.44. This happened on December 12th, 2024. A 4-inch main was leaking in the rear of the claimant's yard. Emergency repair was completed with use of an excavator. The claimant supplied photos of damage of the rear yard. The claimant hired a private contractor in June to repair the yard damage. He supplied 2 paid receipts that included topsoil, tree service, grading. Total of that was $605.62, and he supplied photos of the repairs, which you can see was pretty significant damage back there. It is the law director's recommendation that we push this forward for the full settlement of $605.44. Is there anyone here for Mr. Addy? Is there any questions from the committee? Hearing none, I'll make a motion. We move this forward in the amount of $605.44 at the law director's recommendation.
Second.
A second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That'll move forward. Our last one is claim number 20062425. This is Mark Henderson of 1659 Pulver Road. He's stating basically that he went left on Bowman from Cleveland Cliffs main gate. There was a culvert that had been under repair for several weeks. He saw the cones in the grass, assumed the repairs were completed, and he noticed work was not completed until it was too late. So basically, there had been cones up that was blocking that culvert, and you can see the pictures. They had been moved. Someone had moved the cones into the yard. By the time he realized that it had not been completed, he was on top of the culvert and hit it. There was a crash report made. There's a amount of the claim is $1,065.47. The narrative states the city workers arrived to put more traffic cones up around so that there's no further damage to the culvert. Both passenger side tires were flat, as noted by the Mansfield police officer. And he had these, the total amount that is there is receipts from Terry's Towing, some eBay receipts for used rims that he bought to fix it, and entire replacements. Claimant submitted insurance declaration page showing the damage to the vehicle was not insured. So it is the law director's recommendation that we pay the $1,065.47. Tracy, do you know if we had any calls on this before or after that?
None that I could locate on the work orders.
Is Mr. Henderson here? Anyone representing Mark? Does the committee have any questions on this or any questions? Yes, Ms. Mount.
Was that the claimant has no insurance or just insurance that would not cover this type of damage?
No insurance on that vehicle.
No insurance on that vehicle?
Yeah,
at
it's an
all?
older vehicle. He has insurance on all his other vehicles, just not that vehicle.
So isn't it required by law to have insurance on all vehicles that's traveling on the road?
I think it was liability only for crash, not for damage to it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Let me double check. Let me double check that. Just a moment.
Oh, I can.
He has no coverage on that vehicle. He has 4 vehicles. That's the only one that did not have coverage. It says no applicable coverage on his insurance policy.
But he does have liability insurance,
Mhm.
of which doesn't have to have comp and collision.
Correct.
Any other questions?
Do we have any of the vehicle information?
Yes, it is just a moment. It's a truck. Just a minute here. 2005 Chevy Silverado, mileage 152,000. Our suggestion of when we did the research of it, we gave him leniency in the fact that he went out and bought used rims. I mean, he paid a total of, he found them on eBay for less than it would be to repair them new. Let me find my notes here just a
So the
moment.
1,065 represents 2 rims, 2 tires, and a tow bill.
And 2 tires, 2 rims, 2 tires, and a tow bill. Yes. The used rims were roughly 117 and 128. Both of them dated the same day. And then the tire repair to mount and balance was $744. The tow bill was $75. He does have a paid receipt from, I believe it is Vans Tires. Just a moment.
While you're looking for that, Tracy, there were 2 city workers who arrived within minutes of this happening, and they stated that the State Highway Patrol had just called in and said the cones were down prior to him crashing.
And that culvert was a large culvert.
Yeah. Any additional questions on this?
The only thing I was looking at is that the picture that I see is after they have put them together, correct?
Yes.
So I didn't see a picture of like the car and that he hit it and they were at one side to show exactly what happened. That would have been a good picture to have.
The police report did include those. I just didn't include those with
Oh,
yours.
okay.
But there are pictures from the actual damage report that,
Shows.
here, this will help you. This actually shows the cracked rim. There's two of these. There's the cracked rim and then the flat tire.
Okay, okay. All right, thank you. Thank you.
I was thinking that.
We gotta do better, fix our roads.
And I probably need to recuse myself off of this.
You do. Anything else?
That's it.
I will make a recommendation that we move it forward for consideration as we have the other ones for council to consider.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It moves forward. The time is now 6:35, and that's the end of the Claims Committee meeting.
Forget so.
Yes. Are you ready to move to that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yes, I would like to open the conversations on the NOPEC. I believe we have the folks here from NOPEC to cover approving the plan of operations and governance of the NOPEC electricity aggregation program for the purposes of joining establishment and implementing an electricity aggregation program and declaring an emergency.
Good evening, council. So as we heard last council meeting, NOPEC did do a short presentation. So today they're here for their public hearing. Just a reminder that our residential aggregation expires in July. So we are meeting the administration. We're looking at different brokers. And we wanted one that would be more informative. We want to raise our aggregation program. So that's why we looked at many different brokers, and NOPEC did draw our attention. Today we have Aaron McCovey and Ross McDonald to give a little bit more. They're going to present on the TV a little bit more in depth.
Well, thank you, Council. I am expeditiously trying to connect to the TVs right now, so give me one moment while we get locked in. Okay. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. So again, Ross McDonald, Director of Community Expansion, served for NOPEC. We're the Northeast Ohio Public Energy Council. Our presence here is a culmination of over a year of careful planning, thoughtful questions coming from the mayor's administration and the mayor herself. You may recall that I was here 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I had more hair at that time. I proudly stand in solidarity with children who are battling childhood cancer. So I signed up with a team at work. It's through St. Baldrick's to raise funds for childhood cancer research. My thought is that I have a choice in my hairdo, and there's children do not, sadly. So I think all of us stand in solidarity with anybody experiencing things like that. So you have met me. I do look a bit different than last time. So we're here today after several months, over a year at this point, of discussion with the city of Mansfield. So what could Mansfield, let me back up a little bit. Electric aggregation program. You've had a program here in the city that was approved by your voters some time ago. You have utilized up until this point a broker-led model whereby every so often there's an analysis done of different bids that are received. NOPEC is a council of governments. We are over 250 communities throughout the state of Ohio, across 20 counties in Ohio. Here in Richland County, we currently have the village of Lexington and Madison Township as members. Obviously, we are seeking the council's support for the city of Mansfield to become our newest member. Bulk purchasing power. So with all of those communities, we have nearly 1 million customers across our footprint. And what that allows us to do is to purchase in bulk and provide those savings back to your program participants, in this case, the electric program participants. There would be no change to the utility service or billing process. Everybody is still going to get the same bill from First Energy. And what we have are various electric options for residents to choose from, but everybody would be enrolled in what we call our standard program. The standard program is truly designed to manage market volatility. Right now, Mansfield we're targeting a July 1 start. And right now, the energy market is extremely volatile right now. But the beauty of a NOPEC program is that we can absorb some of that volatility across all of those customers. As I said, on the electric side, we have close to 500,000 electric customers and close to 500,000 gas customers. In a case where we see volatility like is seen right now, that is, absorbed a lot better than, say, a program that only has 10 or 15,000 program participants, such as, say, the city of Mansfield itself. So moving right along, when you become a NOPEC member community, you have exclusive members only pricing. And that's compared to, say, like an apples to apples website where anybody can shop that. When you're a member of, when you reside in a member community, a NOPEC member community, only those residents are eligible for that listing or those prices. So we have our standard program, and then we have our optional 12 and 24 month fixed, along with a monthly variable product, which is guaranteed savings of 6% below the price to compare. I will say that right now, our most competitive and best options are really the standard program or perhaps one of those fixed rates. Transparent notification before the enrollment period. So NOPEC prides itself on community education and outreach, being here to help your residents understand what they're about to get into, what their rights are. Of course, an aggregation program only adds choice. It doesn't force anybody into the program. Folks are still free to leave. What's interesting with NOPEC and what we are really proud of is that residents can come and go from the electric aggregation program at no cost. We don't charge things like early termination that you might find on the Apples to Apples website, nor do we charge a monthly fee. NOPEC membership comes at no cost to the residents or the city itself. This is a supplier paid program. We're a public nonprofit council of governments. As I mentioned, Lexington and Madison Township are local examples of member communities. We provide grants, financing, event sponsorship, and energy services for our member communities. Those services are provided to the city itself and small businesses. And my colleague, Aaron Markovi, is going to get into some of the financing details that we offer as a company. But that is some of those things that set us apart from other programs. Why do residents choose NOPEC? So savings, we've been around for 25 years. We've saved our customers hundreds of millions of dollars on their energy bills. We don't have the tricky contracts, like I mentioned, that are sometimes found on the Apples to Apples website or energychoiceohio.gov. Oftentimes you'll see short-term contracts that roll into a monthly variable rate that is essentially requiring the resident to run a contract analysis to understand, what does this do to me after that initial 3-month period? With NOPEC, what you see is what you get. Everything is upfront and easy for the residents to understand what they're getting into. Auto enrollment makes it easy for the city itself. We've tied up a lot of Jessica's time, who's been wonderful to work with. But once we get your membership started, we take it from there. We do all the onboarding. We'll conduct a nice kickoff meeting with city leadership. We will cater to the residents in terms of providing a meeting at the senior centers throughout the city or wherever else that would be a public venue. NOPEC will be there to help with resident concerns and answer questions. The peace of mind, as I mentioned, our market competitive rates are good for those families that don't have the time to play the apples to apples game. You can save a few dollars playing that, but you can't make a mistake, because if you make one mistake, or if you roll into that monthly variable after month 3, for example, you may lose all of that perceived or expected savings. So we're really big on savings over time and being upfront about how our pricing works. We have that product choice and flexibility. So as I mentioned, we have our standard program and those fixed rate products that I mentioned earlier. And really something that should be important for everybody is our best in class call center. You call our 1-800 number, your phone call is being picked up in less than 10 seconds. You're on the phone with an agent to sort out whatever it is the resident or whomever's calling about. We analyze our call center on a quarterly, if not more, basis to really understand the type of calls that are coming in and be able to locate them. Say there's a lot of calls coming from Mansfield, for example. We would be able to send resources or answer what might be going on in the area for the uptick in calls. Pictured to my stage left is our relationship manager, Andrea, and I'll have Andrea say your last name for me, please.
Certainly, Walazen. Lots of consonants in a row.
Yes, exactly. Walazen. So Andrea would be the city's assigned relationship manager upon membership to use for your needs in helping get different messages out or answer concerns that maybe have come up through the council members themselves from the ward residents or the at-large residents. At this point, I am going to turn it over to my colleague, Aaron, and pass the mic over to him.
There you go, sir. Thank you. Good evening, council. It's a pleasure to be here in front of you all again. I'll be brief in my remarks, but I can tell you that NOPEC has taken the time to develop a really fantastic suite of extra advantages and benefits that your citizens, particularly your small businesses, would be able to take advantage of. We have a number of things that you see up on the screen. First and foremost is arguably our most popular program, which is the Energized Community Grant. The city would be entitled to a grant that's directly related to the number of enrollees in the program. So that would be a fairly sizable grant for the city, and that can be used for energy related things, but that's a very broad definition. So things like lighting, insulation, roof on a city building. And we've had people use it for various creative purposes, things like tree planting or, even vehicles it can be used for and other programs. You may find if you Google us just today in the news, the city of Elyria, Ohio and Lorain County started a program where they used NOPEC Energized Community Grant funds to start a fund for less fortunate citizens of theirs to be able to do emergency replacement of hot water heaters. So there's a lot of versatility in that program, and we'd really hope that the city would make best use of it. We do have grants for small businesses. Those are for-profit businesses. A grant for a small business is a very rare thing when it doesn't come on the heels of another larger particular program. So we have those for energy audits. We also can do economic development site readiness. We were actually just selected as a contributor to a very large economic development team, and we would love to be able to highlight some of Mansfield's properties for more economic development on an international stage and be able to help with that, things like solar, carbon, et cetera. And we have below market financing, either through a PACE program, which you're probably familiar with, as well as a program of our own design, which is fantastic for, kind of spot usage, replacement of the water heater, a large HVAC unit that went down in a manufacturing facility. We do have here a program timeline and next steps. The council authorization and legislative process is up to you all. A lot of councils do prefer to do the full 3 reads, some 2 or 1, depending on where the council's thoughts are. This does constitute the second public meeting held. So at this point, it's entirely at the council's discretion as to how quickly or differently they want to move. We will handle all the joint program filing with the Public Utilities Commission of Ohio. And then we just educate your citizens and all of you to be able to make sure that everyone's very comfortable. They understand what the city is looking towards. And based on our projections for the rest of the energy market, we're very excited actually to be able to bring very competitive pricing to the city as well. And also I will say this is in addition to, and we might have mentioned it the last time we were here, the city already is working with NOPEC. We do have a commercial and industrial division that we were able to find some really fantastic pricing for the city's municipal load. And it's already paying dividends. It's saving the city an awful lot of money there. And then the council action, Ross is really very familiar with these, so I'll turn it back to him.
I can wrap up. Thank you, Aaron. And I am mindful of council's time. So there is a bit redundancy in this slide, but I would point out the opt-out period, May 14th through June 3rd. That's when letters will be mailed May 13th. The opt-out period, May 14th through June 3rd. That's when residents could say, no, I don't want to be in the program, and send in the form to exclude themselves. But I would caution that unless you have a contract through the apples to apples, then you're resting on that standard supply from the utility, which tends to be the highest rate. So, no one knows what the price to compare will be for the summer months, but our metrics and our forecasts are showing near 11-cent kilowatt hour pricing coming up for summer, which that's the worst possible time. That's the highest use months. You look at June, July, August, and September as traditionally being very high use months. So you have before you the schedule of how we see things proceeding toward the July 1 implementation. And we leave you really with just gratitude for hearing us tonight, for having us. And very open to any questions or discussion that council has, or really this is a public hearing. There could be, depending on council rules, questions from your residents here tonight as well. Thank you.
Do have one question. I believe we covered this in the last meeting. The letter that goes to the public is going to be generated from NOPEC with notification of, and then they've got the easy call center that they can reach to, and they'll be talking to somebody rather quickly in the U.S.
Yep.
Bus.
That's right. That is correct, Councilmember Miranda. We would also add your logo, though, to our letterhead, just so that there's familiarity coming from this company called NOPEC. Who are they? We'll work with your administration to get we love your new logo branding, and we would utilize that on our letterhead with you. Excuse me. And again, as Andrea points out, our call center, 365, 24/7, based in the Midwest. They can cover all sorts of different languages as well. So if you have anybody that, English is not their first language, I guarantee you we'll be able to help translate and communicate with them.
Okay. And that's acceptable to use our logo on their, okay. Excellent. Any other questions?
So my question is, on the bill, if you accept, your logo would be on the bill too?
That's a really, so
That's our
on the
bill
bill,
with your
yeah,
logo.
so
That's why I asked
yeah.
today.
So on an electric bill, there's the transmission and distribution section, and then there's the supply portion. We would be listed as NOPEC NextEra. Our supplier is NextEra Energy Services Ohio. They're a subsidiary of NextEra Energy, who is quite a large regulated utility. They're the largest regulated utility in the United States, and I believe the world as well. But that is exactly correct. It would be identified
So
on
I-
the supply portion.
Because I saw it on a Norwalk bill that I was looking at.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Mhm.
Okay.
So we have the opt-out program. What do we, how do we talk with our citizens if they're already out, they're already in an apples to apples program and they want to get into this?
Yep. Yep.
What happens then?
So that's part of our community outreach and education. What we really focus on letting consumers know is that they need to understand the elements of their current contract. Some let the contract go away with no penalties. Some are going to require people to pay an early termination fee. So they need to, unfortunately, run a contract analysis of whatever it is that they're in right now, to see what the timing looks like on that, the end of that contract. Then we'll work with them to bring them into the aggregation. So when we pull the list for the city of Mansfield, anybody that's in a contract will show up on the list as what's called shopping, meaning we can't send them the opt-out letter. We can't get between them and their contract. But let's say that the contract ends in, September. We start you in July. We would coach them on how to call NOPEC and work their way into the program after having, finished up that contract. Aaron?
And I would like to add that we really do pride ourselves on trying to encourage people to become educated about this process. We do mailings, upwards of 50,000 every month, and we take intervals of electric gas to be able to inform people that maybe they're eligible for it because we do that. Most other aggregations you see, we've seen statistics as much as 6 or 7% slippage from the re-up, the anniversary mailing, which the law requires, is done. NOPEX is under 1% for most of our mailings. And it's because, first of all, people are very happy with it. Instead of just one price from a broker, we have 7 different options that somebody can choose from without ever leaving the aggregation. So that's thing number one. But thing number two is that we're constantly sending them to folks who maybe they were in another contract and they dropped back to the standard service offer with the utility, or perhaps they just moved into town, for instance, and or moved out of their parents' place into an apartment or something. So we do a really, really good job of trying to keep folks into the aggregation insofar as we're allowed to, given their existing contract.
Any other questions from the council? This being a public hearing, is there any questions from the public?
I would like to ask one question. Do you folks, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the
What? Come on down so we can hear you.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Um,
And sir,
You're all right.
real quick for the record, I just need to get your name and
My
address.
name's Jim Huffman. I live at 1587 Lucas Road in Mansfield. Do you make electricity?
We are not in the generation business. No.
And you don't deliver electricity, you just broker it, is that correct?
Yes, we're what is on your bill as the supplier.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 3 components in the electrical economy of Ohio.
If I buy electricity, or if I switch to NOPEC,
Mhm.
maybe it's not even an option for me, but if I switch to NOPEC, can I expect a slight discount or a slight reduction in my electric bill? Is that what
It's
we're all about?
It's entirely possible, and that's what we strive for. It really depends on who you're purchasing electricity from right now.
Ohio Edison and whatever whoever makes it for them, they deliver it.
Yeah, and there's
AEP.
there's going to be a supplier that's involved in your bill, whether you know or not.
Yeah.
And it depends on what that price is at the moment. We are very competitive, but I can't tell you that we're the absolute all the time rock bottom price. But virtually all the time, we're in the very lowest handful of prices that are available.
Okay, well, I hear you offering deals for the city to, if they accept your services.
Mhm.
But for us guys paying the bills, what do we got? What do we get out of this?
This would include citizens. So the whole idea here is that it's not only residents, but it's also small businesses. In addition to this conversation, we've also done some work for the city for lights at City Hall and streetlights and stuff like that.
Okay,
But that's a separate conversation that,
Sure.
that is outside of the aggregation. So
but that's sounds like a good thing.
Yes.
How big is OpenOPEC? How many
Uh,
people?
250 communities, nearly 1 million customers,
Huh.
and each customer represents one household. So that's,
You're
depending
not-
on the average, a couple million Ohio.
You're not three guys in a truck.
We are not. I wish he has the truck. I wish.
He does have There you go.
I mean,
if you need help
All right.
one day, I can come down.
But I'm very glad that you asked that, sir, because our call center, as Ross was saying, is about 42 people. So we have that, you call with a question and we'll pick up. And then in addition to that, we have just coming on 40 staff members, including our commercial and industrial side, which is 6 or 7 people. So we do have a robust team, but we're not, an enormous conglomerate that, doesn't reach people.
Just being out of power for the last few days.
Yes.
And we live very close to the new, I'm sure the topic's coming up tonight about the Buc-ee's gas station coming to the area.
Is there?
It's in Madison Township.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you might have heard about
Yep,
that.
heard about it.
So are you rubbing your hands together? Anyway, in that very area, we were out of power for like 3 or 4 days. Do you have any influence over the service and making sure we get power delivered?
Again, fabulous question. This is an indirect answer. The direct answer is no, we are not the guys that come out with the trucks to be able to fix the lines. That being said, one of our tenets is advocacy. One of the things that NOPEC does on behalf of all of our communities, and we're getting to a size now where we can actually do some real work. Here is we go to the Public Utilities Commission of Ohio, we go to Columbus, and we make sure that Ohioans are getting a fair shake, whether it's about pricing, whether it's about holding the utilities accountable for the service they said that they would provide. We put pressure on them through legal means, and we put pressure on them from a regulatory standpoint to make sure that they live up to their to their commitments. So that's what we can tell you.
I didn't mean to interrupt your proceeding, but
No,
thank
not
you
at
very
all.
much for the answers. I
It's
appreciate
our
it.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Not at all. Thank you, Mr. Hoffman. Any other comments or questions? With that being said, we conclude today's hearing from NOPEC. Thank you.
Thank you, council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The time is 7:01, and I will call the Public Affairs meeting to order. I'll ask for Director Ackerman and her staff to come forward, please. Also, I'd like to note that Councilperson Meyer and Councilperson Weiss is in attendance.
These are actually for several pieces, just so you know, it's just easier to pass them out. So it should be the second spreadsheet is what we'll be actually talking about.
The 26-052/053.
Yes. Yes, that is labeled that way. So what you have there is actually going to be the new spreadsheet. Hopefully this is going to help everyone a little bit because when you get this, you're only going to be able to fill in some spots. At the public hearing that we had, of course, we heard from almost all of the applicants. The mayor and I have put together recommendations. That is what you see there on that spreadsheet. And so these will be coming to you. Each of you will get your own form, and then I will compile them into the average with the listing. That way it's a lot easier for you all and council clerks to navigate. But essentially, those are our recommendations as they stand now based on the funding that we anticipate having available. Having that in mind, obviously, we are working off estimates still for CDBG and the home grants. We do not have the final allocations yet. It does sound like they may have those to us soon, hopefully, so that our process isn't completely delayed. I've also emailed out the action plan, an initial draft. Keep in mind, there are numbers plugged into those applicants in those sections, that will all change. I just have to have numbers or I can't complete the section with the information on the anticipated project. There is a lot of other information in that plan. If there's any questions on those, you can certainly reach out to me as far as the plan goes. And then this is kind of the committee meeting and opportunity for you guys to discuss or ask me any questions about any of the presented programs, if anything else came up after the meeting that you wanted to ask about.
Does anybody on the committee have any questions? No.
Adrian, you said we'll each get, is this our copy?
That
to
is
make-
not your copy.
So
I will
you
send it to you
out-
in an Excel format.
Okay.
The only thing you will be able to fill out is that column that
Just
says
those-
council recommendations. Everything else is going to be
Okay.
locked.
I love
And it
that.
will not let you put something in wrong. If you have amounts that are above or below thresholds that are required, it's going to flag you. So you'll be able to see all of those things. And then if you have trouble, of course, we'll be able to help you. But that bottom section will tell you if your amounts are within the allowable range.
Does anyone else have any questions about this right now? All right, then hearing none, I think we're good for now. Thank you,
Okay.
Director Ackerman. And I will close the Public Affairs Committee at 7:05.
And with that, at 7:07, I will call to order the public hearing. What are you calling? Public hearing for the rezone petition number 563. This would be amending the zoning districts map of the city of Mansfield, Ohio ordinance 04208 to rezone 5 parcels located at 2385 Possum Run Road, 2424 Possum Run Road, 2450 Possum Run Road, and 2470 Possum Run Road from prior township zoning classification to B2 general business district classification. Do we have anyone in the audience here to speak at this public hearing regarding this rezone? Director Ackerman, is there anything that your office would want to say at this point on that? Okay. All right.
Do you want to note that planning commission did make a recommendation
Go
to
ahead,
council? Yeah.
Mayor Perry, if you could.
Yeah, just that planning commission did make a recommendation to accept this act to council.
Thank you. Okay, is there last call for anyone from the public to address this rezone? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing at 7:08 PM.
Thank you. At 7:08, I'll call the Finance Committee meeting to order. And we have the final budget that's due by March 31st. Our last regularly scheduled meeting is right now. I did send out an email a couple days ago with some different reports and breakdowns. I don't know if anybody had any questions about that. I know we've got a lot going on tonight, so I don't want to belabor anything that maybe you already talked about at the previous meeting. Ms. Mount?
Just wanted to say thank you for your summary and Director Converse for your department's work on preparing that summary for us. And there are things at this point that we just don't know how the year will shake out financially. So it may be something that we come back, revisit mid-year, fall, if we need to, but we're going to do the best with what we know at this point and see how things come in and how things change would be my take on it.
Right. And I think one thing, the budget's the best of the guess. I hate to use the word guess, but it's really the best guess. A lot of effort goes into it. I know the mayor spent a lot of time with all the department heads and went into all the details line by line by line. We have some changes between the temporary budget we did for December, and those are in here, and that's because the income rollover from last year was lower by $250,000.
Yes.
Roughly. So they had to pull $250,000 out, which they did. And that's what's reflected in the final budget. And again, I know there's two people in the next row that's ready to dive deep into this, but at the same time, if nobody has any questions, I'm not going to push for a deep dive. Mrs. Meyer.
No, I just wanted to echo what Councilwoman Mount said. Thank you, Director Blankenship, for getting us the summer. It made it a lot easier to sit and look through the numbers instead of trying to line item it by, it's unfortunate that we've had to pull some of the money from the departments that we've had to. But hopefully we're going to see an uptick. And like Ms. Mount said, we can revisit some of these when we start seeing some of the money
Right.
pour in. That would be nice. Thank you. Mr. Fung.
Yes, Ms. Robinson.
Thank you. I just want to say that I know I was able to speak with the mayor and the finance director a little bit, and would really, again, we don't know what's coming in, but would like to see if things do come in, some of those capital purchase requests come through in the department. So that would be my request and my hope that we could focus on some of that. So I appreciate everything that you did, and that's all I have.
Well, with no further hands in the air, I'll call the Finance Committee closed at 7:12 p.m.
Okay, with that being at 7:11, I will call this session of Mansfield City Council caucus session to order. And we'll start off with any committee reports. Mr. Diaz, I know you have some.
You know me. Thank you, Mr.
I do.
President. I cut it short since we have a long night tonight. I do want to highlight 3 upcoming events beginning this Friday. Ohio State Reformatory is conducting a public ghost tour. That'll be from 7:30 until 9:30. So if you're interested to purchase your tickets, please contact OSR. Something I saw pretty exciting is every Wednesday beginning, I think they're not doing it tomorrow, but beginning next week and every Wednesday until April, they're doing free guitar lessons with OSU Mansfield. It'll be courtesy of Metronome Music. So if you yourself wants to learn a guitar, bring your guitar. It's free from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. And then this Saturday will be the first of several monthly Thrive in Ward 5 cleanups. This Saturday, we're partnering with Mansfield Speedway. We'll have a Google form online probably tonight. We're looking for at least 50 people this time to be helping with painting, cleaning, and they have some pretty amazing things we're going to be announcing at this cleanup. So that'll be Saturday from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. More information coming tonight, and that concludes my announcements.
With that, we'll call on Mayor Perry.
Okay, just a couple things from me. I did want to say thank you to all the city workers for their great response during last week's windstorm. I mean, nearly every department had to respond in some way, but certainly police, fire, our dispatchers, dispatch in particular was overwhelmed with calls. We were in a meeting with the sheriff's office today. I know it was similar in the rest of the county. Also our streets folks, we had trees down, we had things that had to get fixed. And so appreciate everyone's response to that. I did want to let council know, I know you approved the IAFF contract back in January, maybe early February, late January. We did sign that this week. So that is all set and in motion. And then I did want to let you know, so we did change our regularly scheduled CIC meeting, our Community Improvement Corp meeting this month. We had a conflict with quorums, but we are going to do this meeting as a planning session. It will be open to the public. It's going to be next Wednesday from 4 to 6 in our office. But it's going to be a chance for us to talk about how to use the CIC in particular, what additional benefits it provides. So I would encourage you, and I'll have Tina send out a note if you are available and want to participate. We would love to have your input on that. Thank you.
With that, Director Andrews?
At the last council meeting, we talked about that the city engaged a consultant to look at public pool. Our first hearings and public meetings, they're going to help us navigate and have a public open house. We have a steering committee, and we have a committee group, a stakeholder group made up of neighbors and educators. We have a second stakeholder group that's made up of community partners. And then we have a third stakeholder group is the youth forum, getting the youth of the community input as well. Then at last, we have a public open house. All this would be on March 30th between 5 and 7, and we'll be at the North Lake Pavilion. At that point, we ask people to come and give us their feedback and anything that they feel would be important to us as far as a pool is concerned. If you're not able to attend any of those, we will have some online options that you'll be able to go to and still give us input. So this company is going to help us navigate through all the open houses and get all the surveys and get all that information. And then they'll make a recommendation to the city as to the design, the pool, and all the different amenities that we would have. So if you're interested, come to those open house on March 30th or go online. We'll give you a survey that you can answer some questions for us. Thank you.
Director Porch.
Thank you, Mr. President. So for council's memory, last December, you guys approved a FEMA grant in the neighborhood of $200,000 for the fire department for the diesel exhaust systems. So those have arrived this week. They started installation today. So by the end of the week, all 5 fire stations will be outfitted with those systems, which is phenomenal. Obviously, that is for the safety and security of our personnel operating those trucks in those stations to make sure we're taking care of them. And the chief did a fantastic job of getting that grant, allowing us to outfit our stations. The police department, we just finished up the 4th year review for the reaccreditation. So all files have been reviewed for the 4-year time period. The on-site assessment, and that's when a lead assessor with assistance will come to the police department to do a physical on-site assessment of those, not only the files, but of the staff and the police department. That will occur April 6th through the 8th. And if you remember, and I guess for some of the new members, during that time period, there'll be a chance for public comment, not only from council members, but from the public at large, to give the assessors your opinions, whether good or bad, and how the police department conducts themselves and operations of the police department. The lead assessor is an assistant chief from Metropolitan Police in Washington, D.C. I don't have his name, but he just retired, and he'll be the lead assessor that will be in charge of doing that for Mansfield. So I know that a lot of work has been done by the police department during those 4 years. They're assessed every year by file, but every 4th year, that's when physical assessors arrive to make sure we're doing what we're say we're doing through our accreditation. So please show up and give your opinions. Thank you.
Director Converse.
Thank you. And finance, on the finance side of the floor, we are busy with the state auditors. They are on site right now. They have been here last week and this week and may continue for another week after that. And we have our new payroll specialist starting on Monday. So we're excited to have that hole plugged finally. On the income tax side, I sent out a press release and we have a commercial that's live now reminding taxpayers that we will see walk-in traffic and we will prepare your city income tax return for you as long as you have all of your documents, which means we need your W-2s, any 1099s you have, your 1040 federal filing, plus all the supporting schedules. And if you bring those to our office, we're happy to do the work for you because, all municipalities are different. And so, it's a little complicated for sometimes everyone in the public to do that. So we're happy to take care of that for you. Beginning April 1st, we are going to open the first floor office downstairs. And so we'll have a line of traffic on the first floor and the 7th floor. On April 14th or 13th, 14th, and 15th, we will cut off the in-person traffic at 1 p.m. just because the lines will be long enough at that point that they will take us well into the evening. So we don't want to have our clerks here until late at night preparing taxes on those days because, you know, we need them to get home and be rested to come back and get at it again the next day. So we will cut traffic at 1 p.m. on those 3 days only. All the other days we will keep traffic coming in until they cut the doors closed down on the 2nd floor. The other thing I wanted to make you aware of is that the state has convened a committee to look at municipal income tax again. Some of the things they are considering right now are also excluding tips and overtime from municipal taxing, just like the One Big Beautiful Bill Act has done at the federal level, and now the governor has signed at the state level. They are trying to impose that on the municipal level as well. They are also looking at removing the limitation on business net profit loss. Currently, it's at 100% of a net business profit loss can be carried forward up to 5 years. They want to remove that 5-year limitation and allow businesses to carry forward their net profit loss indefinitely until it's exhausted. Our business net profit is what is driving our reduction in income tax through the entire level. So while withholding is going up and individual receipts are going up, business net profit has declined to such an extent it has taken the entire income tax level down 2%. So I implore you to talk to your state legislators and let them know at a municipal level, we cannot afford these kind of changes. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Deputy Director Madden.
No updates from the law director's office. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We will now proceed with legislation. For caucus, we will start at Bill 26-044, and I'll call on Ms. Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. President. 26-044 is amending the term of a prior appointment in reference to 26-023 for the following member of Fordia Deshay Harris to the Mansfield Public Arts Commission, said term amending that it commences immediately.
Is there any questions, discussion on 2644? Okay. Moving on to 26-045. Once again, Ms. Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. President. 26-045 is approving the appointment of Ryan Sheely to the Mansfield Public Arts Commission to replace Commission member Lee Tassif and to complete his term commencing immediately.
Any discussion? Mr. Fauquet.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say that during my volunteer efforts at the Renaissance Theater, I have met Mr. Sheely, and I would highly recommend him for the job. He's a very critical person that works up at the Renaissance Theater.
Any other questions, discussion on 2645? Okay, moving on to Bill 26-46. Mr. Miranda.
Bill 26046, approving reappointments by the mayor of the Board of Utility Appeals.
Any questions on 26-46? Okay, moving on to Bill 26-047. Mrs. Meyer.
Thank you, sir. 26-047 will be reappointing members to the Police Review and Community Police Relations Commission, and that will be Tammy McLaughlin for the 3rd Ward. Her term will expire December 31st, 2027. And for the 4th Ward, Sheila Kaiser, and she will expire December 31st, 2026. And many thanks to both of these ladies for being willing to serve.
Yes. Any questions, discussion on 26-47?
Mr. President.
Yes.
I just want to let you know that Ron Abrams called today and is volunteering. He called my office. So I'm going to call him back and say it's council, but I don't know. Just as an FYI.
Yes. Yeah. Do we know what ward he lives in?
I don't, but I will ask him.
So if we can get him to
The appropriate.
I think we have I'm pretty sure everyone's got someone except for maybe, yeah, six ward is.
Okay.
So, but we'd love to keep them on a reserve list.
Perfect. Just wanted to make sure I passed it on.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Anything else on 47? Okay, moving on to Bill 26-048, Mr. Paquette.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is reappointing Downtown Improvement Advisory Board members, Jennifer Kime, Matthew Stanfield, and Ben Davis. They've been on before. They do a great job.
Anything further on Bill 26-48? Okay, Bill 26-049, Mrs. Meyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. 26-049. So this will be amending section 7, 19, and 32 of ordinance number 25-211, adopting personnel positions, pay grades, and salaries for certain employees of the city of Mansfield 2026 payroll year. So I do have some information on that. And I might have at this point Director Ackerman. I will tell you what I know about the first portion, the position in engineering. We're adding and CAD. One of Engineer Bianchi's employees took it upon himself to get this designation, and so he'll be able to help with water lines, etc. So we very much pass our appreciation on to that, since that's not a up in a pay grade or anything. He just took that doing that himself. So then I'll go to
Yeah,
Director
mine's not
Ackerman.
that simple. I'm sorry. So what I've tried to give you in the first sheet is essentially what the current looks like without all the red lines, because that makes it confusing when you start seeing that. And then what the proposed is and what it will look like in the new ordinance. Obviously, without the color coding is actually to try and show you what we're going from and to. Most of these are essentially a job title change, and then we're restructuring it to show where that personnel falls under which supervisor in the division. A lot of these changes are basically because the state has changed their certification structure. And what those titles are. So when I'm posting a job that says I need a building official, most people are like, I don't have that. It takes too much to get that. I'm not going to apply for that. If they know what they are, or I'm getting people who say, oh, I can probably do that. And then they're not even eligible for certifications. So by aligning this and changing this to the state structure, hopefully it will be able to attract candidates that are qualified, and they'll know what that means as soon as they see that job posting. So instead of building official or residential building official, and even the electrical inspector, we're moving those just to certified inspector. Certified building inspector 2, that replaces the building official job and the electrical inspector, because there's 2 positions there. That replaces those certifications. They all fall under the level 3 certification structure at the state. The residential building official, moving that to a certified residential inspector, which is a level 2 at the state's new structure. And then just a title change primarily for the permitting and development official. That role has really essentially been zoning and utility coordination, which we don't have a lot of now because we don't have all the private fiber companies all over the city, but that will still be a part of that role. And so that title really better states what that primary role is. We wanted to change that over to zoning official. And then the only other thing we really did is we added in the option for level 3 certified part-time employees. A lot of people in the field are retiring. They don't want to work full-time. They're eligible for certification. They maybe used to be a contractor. Maybe they do want to do something part-time. So that allows us to maybe open that up to get some certified folks who don't want to work, 40 hours a week or a little more.
Mhm.
So
Awesome.
any questions?
Thank you. Thank you. And then the last change is going to be under our miscellaneous personnel. That will be bumping the intermittent employees from 15 to 25. And the intermittent employee, more departments, Director May says, more departments are utilizing this type of part-time employee as opposed to full-time temporary. Full-time temporary can only work for 9 weeks, whereas an intermittent could work longer, provided they don't exceed the 1,040 hours in a calendar year. So parks, permitting and development, Clear Fork, those would be places where you might find some intermittent employees. And that's all I have on that piece.
Okay. Any other questions, discussion on 26-49? Okay. Moving on to Bill 26-050. Mr. Miranda.
Thank you, Mr. President. Authorizing the Public Works Director to purchase, according to the Sourcewell Contract 1, QC 550 camera system from MTech of 5642 Transportation Boulevard, Garfield Heights, Ohio, 44125, in the amount not to exceed $107,960 for the use by the Sewer Repair Department and declaring an emergency.
Any questions, discussion on 2650? Mr. Miranda?
Is this a new product or replacing or just new technology?
This is an upgrade, so the vehicle itself is the same. We're gutting it out and putting this new technology. Two advantages of this: one, it will have a remote capability, so we'll be able to take that camera out in the field where the truck can't go. There is a self-contained generator that will operate it, and that gives us more flexibility. The additional thing is that we'll get 4 employees trained and certified on the new equipment, which we've been struggling to find training for that. And that's a savings of about $4,800 that's included in that. That's not an additional charge. So this is upgrading what we have.
Excellent. Thank you.
Any other discussion on 2650? Okay, moving on to 26-051, Mr. Diaz. Yes, I'm sorry.
Is this something you wanted to move up?
Yes, if we could. This is something that we use every day.
Okay. So would
President, I would like to move the bill to, move to displace any further reviews and place on the floor for a vote.
been regularly moved and seconded. We waive further readings and move up Bill 26-50 for final passage tonight. Motion should be before you.
Second.
Oh, sorry.
That's why I didn't.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you for whoever's. Been regularly moved and seconded. The motion is before you. Motion passes 8-0, so we will be voting on it tonight. Bill 26-051, Mr. Diaz.
Thank you, Mr. President. Bill 26-051 is authorizing the Public Works Director to enter into a joint maintenance agreement with the Madison Township trustees.
Is there any discussion on Bill 26-051? Mrs. Meyer?
What will we be jointly doing?
Good question.
This is for street maintenance and stuff like that. I mean, we've already had an agreement. This is just, we met and we decided we need to tweak some stuff. And so this is just a renewal of what we've been doing for years with Madison Township.
Any other discussion on Bill 26-51?
I would like to dispense of any further readings and proceed with consideration tonight.
Second.
Then regularly moved and seconded. We move up Bill, waive further readings on Bill 26-051 and bring it forward for final passage at council this evening. Motion passes 8-0. Okay, Bill 26-052.
Thank you,
Mrs.
Mr.
Roberts.
President. Bill
Yes.
26-052 is authorizing the mayor to submit an annual action plan for PY 2026 for proposed uses for the city's 2026 Community Development Block Grant funds.
Any discussion on any discussion on Bill 26-052?
Is there a wait
Adrian,
on this?
they don't want to move this one up, do they?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same with the next one.
Okay. So with that, we'll move on to Bill 26-053. Ms. Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Bill 26-053 is authorizing the mayor to submit Mansfield's PY 2026 action plan to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development for the 2026 Home Improvement Partnership Program funds and declaring an emergency.
Any discussion on Bill 26-053? Okay. Hearing none, we will move on to Bill 26-054. Ms. Mount.
Thank you, Mr. President. Bill 26054, setting forth statement of municipal services the city of Mansfield, Ohio would provide to the plus or minus 112.538 acres of land located in Madison and Mifflin Townships and proposed to be annexed to the city of Mansfield, Ohio via an expedited type 2 annexation pursuant to RC 709021 and 709023 and the buffer requirements the city of Mansfield will enforce as provided by RC 709023C. And Mr. President, with your permission, I'd like to call on Mr. Bianchi if he's available to answer any questions, council.
Absolutely. Yes, that'd be great. Give it to us, Bobby.
Good evening, council. Thank you for the invitation. I'll be glad to answer any questions, but I'll just give you a quick update or overview. Annexation. So in Ohio, there's a process. This is the following Ohio Revised Code process of type 2 annexation. And there's the first night, there's 3 pieces of legislation. The first one is, I'm sorry, I sure will. So the first of the 3 pieces of legislation is, the first one is declaring a statement of services. That is, what is the city going to provide this new, what kind of services will the city provide in this new area? The second piece is consenting to annexation. This basically is saying we agree with the process. We are consenting that this land should be annexed. And the third piece is about zoning and describing on whether or not a zoning buffer is required between what zoning it will be in the city and what is the current zoning in the township adjacent to it. Okay, so, and then in about 60 days or so, there will be one more piece of legislation, and that is finally approving the annexation. So consenting, statement of services, zoning, and approving. And then I know Adrian, Director Ackerman will be here to talk about the official zoning of that land here probably in a month or so. Yeah. So be glad to answer any questions. It's the annexation of 112 acres plus or minus or more or less.
So regarding the statement of services, I'm assuming that there has been a meeting with the fire chief, police chief, everyone regarding what that will look like for them. And they're all on board with being able to service this particular parcel.
And that meeting occurred with the directors and the mayor. Yes. And it's basically the standard services that are provided in other areas in Mansfield. They will be provided in this area as well. Save and except Interstate 71. City does not plow, maintain, or provide any type of maintenance to the interstate or ramps. So although that area is becoming inside the city, we will not resume any responsibility over that interstate.
Will we have an agreement like we have on 30 with ODOT? Will we need to do that? Or will it just be assumed that that's not something that we have to concern ourselves with?
Because it's by nature of being an interstate, we will not need an agreement. There will be times where, let's say ODOT wants to pave Interstate 71. We will have to come to council to allow you guys to consent to do working in the city, essentially. So yeah, we've done that. Yeah.
Yankee.
Bobby's fine.
Well, I see no other hands, I guess.
I've got a question with regards to this project.
You can address that during public comment.
Is there a portion of that for this? Yep, perfect, thank you.
It was, yeah, it's been back, it was back there before you came in. Okay, I guess you're good to go, Bobby. Okay. Any other discussion, council, otherwise on Bill 26-054? I'm sure there will be some comments and discussion in public comment. But okay. Moving on to Bill 26-055, Ms. Mount.
Thank you, Mr. President. Bill 26055, as Mr. Bianchi referenced, is consenting to the annexation to the city of Mansfield, Ohio, certain territory proposed to be so annexed pursuant to an annexation petition filed with the Board of County Commissioners of Richland County, Ohio by John Studeman, agent for the petitioners, as provided for in Ohio Revised Code Section 709023.
Okay, any discussion, comments on Bill 26-055?
Mr. President.
Yes.
I just want to make sure, I mean, I know when I was talking with council that I said this, but I want to just hone in on it again. Under a type 2 annexation, we would receive the income taxes that are generated from the site. The township will continue to receive the property tax. So, you know, inside the city, we do receive the inside millage on property tax. So we will not get that. That stays with Madison Township. So I just, that is in perpetuity. So you can imagine that developed property will be worth more than undeveloped property. And that will also be the case with the schools. So there will be another agreement forthcoming, likely the night of the final approval, after the 60 days of waiting has expired. We will have that approval as well as zoning. We will be running the zoning process alongside that, which would become effective upon the annexation effective date, as well as a third piece, which is a development agreement. And that is the piece that's going to get more into specifics about, you know, the types of, the number of jobs that are coming, the expected amount of investment, you know, kind of some more of those substantial numbers that we see, as well as the incentives that are going to be offered. I will say just from the start, we have been talking about this. I said this at the commissioners meeting. I believe this was shared last night at the township meeting as well. The incentive process here is going to look different than one that we have done before. It's obviously a very different type of development. So there will be no property tax abatement at this point. So, you know, schools will be able to keep the money, as well as Madison Township, which certainly will help them with their safety services that they have to maintain. So I just want to let you know that more to come, obviously, on the specifics of how that works, but we're using a newer type of development tool that is available to help with the financing on that.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Fouquet.
Thank you. Along that line, we did a special thing down south end of town that collected some sort of taxes that was used for infrastructure development. Do you know what I'm talking about?
A TIF, yes.
TIF?
Yep.
Is TIF applicable here?
It could be applicable here, but that is not the vehicle that we're going to use. A TIF ultimately, it is a different form of financing, but it operates to the township and to the schools like an abatement. So again, it's on the improved value. And so we were trying to do this in a way that preserves that money. And again, you know, Bucky's is a very unusual type of investment that's coming in, where the majority of their money is coming from visitors outside of the county. It's a little different than a manufacturer coming in, things like that. So it just gives us a few more tools, I guess. And so, yeah, it's not TIF, but yeah, that was a long answer. Sorry about that.
Any other questions, discussion on Bill 26-55? Okay, moving on to Bill 26-56. Ms. Mount?
Thank you, Mr. President. Bill 26056 is the zoning piece that Mr. Bianchi referenced, determining that the zoning of 110.757 more or less acres of territory in Madison Township and 1.781 more or less acres of territory in Mifflin Township, Richland County, Ohio, proposed to be annexed to the city of Mansfield will not permit uses clearly incompatible with the existing township zoning pursuant to RC 709023C.
Any discussion on Bill 26-056? Okay, hearing none. Moving on to Bill 26-057. Ms. Mount?
Thank you, Mr. President. Bill 26057 is amending the zoning districts map as discussed in the public hearing earlier. Zoning districts, City of Mansfield map of Ordinance 04208 to rezone 5 parcels located along Possum Run Road as listed and in the hearing. From the prior township zoning classification to B2 general business district classification.
Any questions, discussion on Bill 26-057? Okay. Bill 26-058, Mr. Miranda?
Thank you, Mr. President. This would be authorizing the Public Works Director to enter into a lease agreement according to the Sourcewell contract for one Super Products Camelvac truck from MTech, 5642 Transportation Boulevard, Garfield Heights, Ohio 44125, for the water and sewer repair departments not to exceed in the amount of $598,534 over a 5-year period, which will have an option to purchase at the end of the lease.
Any discussion on Bill 26-058? Mr. Falquette?
I was at the meeting where it was introduced at the previous level, and this is a truck that they use a lot. The vehicles they have now, the maintenance costs have just become prohibitive. It's very difficult to keep it up. Even though it's almost $600,000, we are financing it over several years, so it's $119,707 per year. We make a once a year payment on that on that truck during the lease period. So just some information from the
Ms. Daly?
So it's more feasible to lease than to purchase?
We opted to lease because within less than 4 to 5 years since this piece of equipment is used extensively, our repairs far exceed keeping that piece of equipment in operation. So this is critical for us to do all of our water lines, sewer line backups, all these things. And we need a dependable piece of equipment. And we feel that leasing gives us that option. We got a new piece of equipment that's being maintained through the lease, and that we'll be able to keep it running longer.
Okay. Maintenance is in the lease.
The maintenance is our biggest concern with that piece of equipment, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Miranda?
Mr. President, I move that Bill 26058 be placed upon the floor for final passage.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded that we waive further readings and move up Bill 26-058 for a final vote this evening. Motion passes 8-0. So we will be voting on it this evening. And our last piece of legislation tonight for caucus is Bill 26-059. Mr. Diaz.
Thank you, Mr. President. Bill 26-059 authorizes Public Works Director to enter into a contract or contracts with the Glessner Avenue infrastructure improvements and declaring an emergency.
Any discussion on Bill 26-59?
Mr. President, I would like to.
Wait a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see a hand there.
Mrs. Meyer.
Can we get a little bit more detail on what the infrastructure improvements are?
Mr. Republic.
Yeah, Adrian is gonna, Director Ackerman. This is the other, it's continuing the Glessner project from Sturgis to Main Street is the answer, but she can give you a little more detail.
I do have another little piece of paper. Didn't include, but this is
Look at her.
basically just the cover of the plans that has the dark line that shows where the construction area is going to be. This is essentially going to look like phase one. That helps, which is Wood Street District.
The new Bob.
So it's
This is
phase one.
typically a grant product.
Phase one is a different neighborhood or different street.
Also, just a note, this project has been put out to bid already. So, so we need to award the contract within 60 days, 60 days of that bid. So, but we are using block grant funds, the target funds that have been built up over several years to pay for some of this. And then we've got money coming from other funds because we're doing work in other parts of the project.
So the black line on this is Glessner Avenue, but when you were walking by, I thought you said Wood Street.
It's well, I was talking with you. So the first phase was Wood Street to Sturgis. So the landscaping features, the sidewalk, crosswalk features, everything you see there is kind of going to be mimicked all the way down. This phase is going to be from Sturgis, Arthur, so the west or the east Sturgis and Arthur, all the way to Main Street.
To me, okay, all right.
It's actually two phases kind of combined in one. It was definitely more cost effective to try and do those at the same time.
So it's phase one over again
Yeah.
in a
Same
new,
features,
moving
same-
east towards Main Street. I got it now.
Is the majority of this work going to be done next year? Because I think when we were discussing water mains, that was a 2027.
Yeah, we're thinking we'll probably start sometime around May.
Okay. So this will be in conjunction with any water main repairs. Good. Thank you.
Any other discussion on Bill 26-59? Okay. That concludes legislation.
Oh,
wait a minute. Up.
Oh, that's
I'm sorry.
okay. I was looking
Yes.
at Councilman Falquette there. Told me to wrap it up. I'd like to dispense.
I meant to move it forward. That was the move forward one.
We need
I'm
to do
hungry,
that.
y'all,
Yes,
so I'm
we
not
do.
thinking. I'd like to dispense of any further readings and place tonight for consideration.
Second.
Okay, it's been regularly moved and seconded. We waive further readings on Bill 26-059 and bring it forward for a final vote this evening. Council shall cast a vote on the motion. It's been regularly moved and seconded. Motion passes 8-0. Do I have a motion to adjourn caucus?
Second.
Been regularly moved that we be adjourned. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. With that, at 7:53, I'll call this session of Mansfield City Council to order. Please stand for the pledge and remain standing for the prayer.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we ask that you watch over our meetings and proceedings tonight. Give us wisdom and direction. Give us safety for our safety service people, our citizens. help those who may still be without power, help those who have had damage and other things like that during the recent weather events. We ask this in your guiding light. Amen.
That the clerk shall call the roll.
Mr. Miranda?
Present.
Mrs. Meyer? Present. Mrs. Davis Weiss?
Present.
Miss Daly?
Here.
Mr. Diaz?
Here.
Miss Mount? Here. Miss Robertson?
Here.
Mr. Falquette?
Here.
And President Scott.
Present. Unless there is an objection, the reading of the journal and correspondence will be dispensed with. Hearing no objection, they will be dispensed with. We need a copy of the. While the clerk is going to get the sign-in sheet for public comment, I might add, traditionally, in this council, it's been, you're allotted 3 minutes. When you come up to the microphone, please state your name and address. And like I said, you're given 3 minutes. And once again, traditionally, it has been that there's no discussion, debate back and forth between council, administration, and the speaker. So with that, I will first call up Wallace Howard.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I'm here on something unusual. I'm here to compliment everybody. So
I'll
if I
take that,
take a little
Wally.
more than 3 minutes, please bear with me because you're going to enjoy it. I've been a contractor, landlord in town for 49 years. My name is Wallace Howard. I live at 1520 Silver Lane, Mansfield, Ohio. I have been a contractor for about 49 years in town, had rental property and different things, semi-retired. 6 months ago, partner and I bought a condemned house at 230 Ray Avenue. We removed 11,850 pounds of trash out of a 2-bedroom to give you an idea what we faced. It had no power. It hadn't been lived in years. You couldn't see it for the bushes. We went in, we cleaned it up. Before we could get the electricity in, we were robbed 3 times with about $3,000 of tools and equipment. With the help, I can't say enough about Mark and the other code inspectors. They expedited things. They helped us get things moving quickly. We got the electricity in, put an alarm system in. Of course, they came back and tested it. They came back twice. I live 5 minutes away. When I got the notice, I had dispatched the police. Both times, the police officers beat me there. First time, the car was seen going, but we weren't able to stop it. What they did, they rattled the doors to see what happened. After the police responded so quickly twice, they decided there was no profit in doing it anymore and left us alone. We have finished that house. It's as cute as can be. We listed it. It was on the market only 7 days it sold. And we have a new family moving into that community in one of the nicest houses on the block. But I commend the police department. If they hadn't shown up so fast, we couldn't have completed that project. Second thing I want to compliment, we had a water leak on Silver Lane. It was not one that was running down the street that everybody could see. It was one in the main line that was going into the storm sewer. And it was thousands of gallons of water going. It reduced our pressure. When I located it, contacted the street department in a very timely manner, they came out and repaired that. And I mean, they came out, they fixed it, solved the problem. The third thing I want to compliment, it just went through my head here. It's really the main reason I came tonight. And I can't think of it right now. I'm so happy with I've been getting service. Help me, Kath. What am I here for? Court of Home Road. Okay. I go out Home Road to Walker Lake at least twice a day, being a contractor going to Menards. The Since Menards has come there, the traffic has really increased. Also, there's the church at the intersection, and that church has, in the last 5 years, has had 400% growth. It's gone from about 49 people a service to over 250. We extend there. There's a lot of elderly. There's a lot of new people coming down that road. I drive a truck and I pull up that intersection. I look to the right, and there was a hill there. You just could not get a clear view. With my truck, I could see it. You had to pull out on Home Road or on Walker Lake before you could see. And I saw several close accidents with people in cars. I contacted the council person in that area, talked to her. But after dealing with the city for 49 years, I know you don't only contact one, you contact the people that they're going to go to and ask about the situation. So I talked to her, I talked to the street department, I talked to the mayor's office, I talked to the service safety director. So when a person asked a question, the people they're talking to had some knowledge. And in a very reasonable time, just a couple months, I was driving down the road about a week ago. Here's the trucks. They took 3 feet off that for about 150 feet. That intersection is safe now. And, you know, every time I pulled up, I was always worried I'm going to see somebody pull out and get creamed because the cars come down Walker Lake pretty fast.
Yes, they do.
They go way over the speed limit. They come over that blind hill and you can't see them. That problem has been solved. It was done in a timely manner. But the key here is it wasn't one department I dealt with. I dealt with 6 different departments here. And you guys worked together. And you solved 3 problems for me. I got more problems solved in the last 6 months than I get resolved sometimes in 10 years. And I had a great working relationship with Mayor Thaker. I'm enjoying the new mayor. You guys are really getting your act together. And I want to compliment you. It isn't one. It's been a real team effort on your part. And you deserve the compliment. I'm sorry if I ran over 3 minutes. Thank you very much.
Next up, we have Nick Stadelman.
Yeah, you pronounced it right.
I was hoping.
You did good. Thank you, sir. I'm Nick Stadelman, 1566 Lucas Road. Just had a question about the land that you guys proposed to annex. I've worked closely with the USDA, the NRCS more specific, with conservation of the soil. And we have a map that we recently put together because we're building a stock barn for cattle, and it's manure storage, so there's groundwater concerns. And that map shows the area of groundwater vulnerability. And the area that is highlighted in orange is an area that wouldn't allow us to build on. And that area is where you guys have proposed the annexed area for Buc-ee's. And I was just curious how that was possible.
I guess. Traditionally, we don't get in the back and forth, but
Okay.
But Mayor can.
So they are going to be doing a lot of stormwater retention as part of this, but they also have done soil borings as part of the due diligence on the site. So I mean, USDA is not the overseer of Buc-ee's project, so I don't know how that would be different. But I can tell you that they have tested the site and done all of their due diligence on it and believe they know they can build on it. Now they may need to retrofit things. I mean, that's on their side of it. But my guess is, and I don't know, I'm looking at the 2 smarter guys than me on this stuff, but it's a difference of oversight. USDA is completely different, looking at different types of things than our regular building code would.
Yeah. I mean, either way, it looks like it poses a groundwater vulnerability.
Well, that's why stormwater retention is very important.
Yeah.
So, because yeah, we definitely, I know we talked, I believe, right? So I certainly understand from nearby property owners the concerns, and we have had extensive discussions with them and continue to. And actually, I have not had a chance to call you back yet, but they're ready to come in and talk with you personally and talk about some of the concerns that you had.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Thank you.
yep.
Very good. With that, Gwendolyn?
Gwendolyn, yes.
Gwendolyn.
And you can say the last name.
Dadelman.
Good evening. My name is Gwendolyn Stadelman, 1360 Royal Oak Drive in Mansfield, Ohio. I've come here to obviously back up the gentleman that you just saw. I grew up and was raised in the community for 33 years. Moved away to sunny Arizona. Gentleman back there decided to move back here, start a farm directly next to the proposed annexation of Buc-ee's. Not what I had hoped for a budding farmer to have to endure. I come from a long family of farmers within the local area. Many generations, some of you will remember Mansfield Tire, Tappan's, you know, the local things. But I think after living away and moving back, I think that I'm very saddened to see the annexation take place, because I would think that my hometown would want to pull in more sustainable jobs to maintain the youth to the area, such as tech, more industry, things that we all want our kids to go to OSU, you know, go to college, to keep them here, to raise them in a community that is strong and that they'll want to raise their families locally. They'll want to keep those taxpayers here, tax-paying dollars here, instead of moving out of town because we don't have the type of next generation jobs that, you know, we see our kids going to school or our grandchildren going to school for. But I guess I'm here to say my piece. I disagree with it. I oppose it. I don't want my grandchildren growing up next to it. Safety is a huge concern. Huge. And I hope that all aspects will be viewed on it. I'm very concerned about that. I know there's a lot that goes on at 13 and 71. I just hope that this exit doesn't accompany that. So I thank you very much for your time.
Jim Huffman?
Do I have to do this again?
Yes, sir. You signed up.
Every time? I'm Jim Huffman. I live at 1587 Lucas Road. The mayor may have answered part of my question here as far as Buc-ee's is willing to discuss my properties adjacent to the Stadelman property and across the driveway from the Buc-ee's. Just some things for and I don't know who does it, city engineers, have they addressed the Indian burial mounds and things on that property is one thing. The other thing is the riparian rights and the watershed and the difficulty. I know they started drilling about a year ago out there with their soil samples, and so I have no doubt they've done the homework. And the third thing is the soil amendment, or the way they're going to be able to build foundations on that. I might be able to help them with that. So if they're willing to come and talk to neighbors, why, you pretty much answered my question. I just don't know how to make contact with them.
I'll grab your contact info from here and I'll reach out to you. Okay.
That's it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, that is all we had signed up for public comment. Are there any committee reports further? Mayor, any directors have anything for? Okay, then we shall move on to legislation. Ms. Daly.
Thank you, Mr. President. Monday deadline, I move with respect to Bill 26-047 that the rule requiring legislation be submitted by Monday at 4 p.m. be suspended, and that Bill 26-047 be allowed on the floor this evening.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. Council shall cast their vote on the motion. Motion passes 8-0. With that, Ms. Daly, suspension of the rules.
Suspension of the rules. I move with respect to all bills that come before council this evening that the rule requiring reading on 3 different days be suspended and that each bill be read one time by title only.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. Council shall cast their vote on the motion. Motion. Okay, motion passes 7-1. Mr. Folkett's mistake. Okay. Moving on then to legislation. We will start with Bill 26-034A. Mr. Miranda.
Thank you, Mr. President. In reference to 26034A, approving the plan of operation of,
My job.
Mr. President, I move that Bill 26034A be placed on the floor for final discussion.
Second.
The clerk shall read Bill 26-034A.
This isn't for final discussion. This is its
For
first read.
first read.
Just for record purposes. Approving the plan of operation and governance for the NOPEC electricity aggregation program for the purpose of jointly establishing and implementing an electricity aggregation program and declaring an emergency.
Is there any discussion on Bill 26-034A? Mr. Folkett.
Is there a reason that we're only doing a first read? Is it possible to move it forward? Do we want to move it forward?
I would say it's possible to move it forward, that the will of the council.
I move that.
Wait a minute, Mr. Folkett.
Yes, it is possible to move it forward. We have satisfied all of the public hearing requirements at this point. Thank you.
Thank you for that clarification. Continue, Mr. Folkett.
I move that Bill 26034 be dispensed with further readings and move forward tonight for final consideration.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. We've waived further readings on Bill 26-034A and bring it forward for our final passage tonight. Bill, the motion passes 8-0. So with that.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26034B be read and placed upon the floor for discussion.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved, it's been read.
You need the second one.
Oh.
I just got you up to here.
No. Mr. President, I move that Bill 26034B be placed upon the floor for final passage.
Second.
A,
A.
you meant 34A. Okay. It's been regularly moved and seconded that we council cast their vote for final passage of Bill 26-034A.
Only separated. You do one at a time.
Okay, the bill passes 8-0. Bill 26-034B, Mr. Miranda.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Do the first one.
I move that Bill 26034B be read and placed upon the floor for discussion.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. The clerk shall read Bill 26-034B.
An ordinance authorizing the city to enter into the Northeast Ohio Public Energy Council, or NOPEC, and the execution and delivery of the agreement establishing NOPEC and approving the bylaws of NOPEC and declaring an emergency.
And that would be the first read unless we have a motion to bring it forward for a final vote.
Mr. President, I move that we move the bill forward for a final vote.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. We waive further readings on 26-034B and bring it forward for a final vote tonight. Motion passes 8-0. Mr. Miranda, you want to make a motion and we vote on the motion to vote on it?
Mr. President, I move that bill. I'm just on. Mr. President, I move that the bill be placed upon the floor for final passage.
Second.
Been regularly moved, seconded. Council shall cast their vote for final passage of Bill 26-034B.
Second.
Okay, the bill passes 8-0. Okay, moving on to Bill 26-036. Ms. Robertson.
I think I'm taking this one because my name's back on the legislation.
Oh, okay. I'm okay.
Yeah,
All
it's
right,
all right.
I'm-
No problem. So thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26036 be read and placed upon the floor for discussion.
Second.
Been regularly moved in second. Is there any discussion on Bill 26? You need to read it first.
I do.
Okay.
I would like to.
Clerk, why don't you read Bill 26?
I absolutely will.
036.
Okay. An ordinance making final cumulative annual appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Mansfield, Ohio for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2026 and declaring an emergency.
Okay. Is there any discussion on Bill 26-036? Mr. Fouquet?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26036 be dispensed with further readings and be voted on this evening.
Second.
Okay. Council shall cast their vote for final passage of Bill 26-036. It was already scheduled for a vote, Mr. Fouquet.
That's it.
Yeah.
Huh?
Mine says vote.
Did you replace your first sheet with the one that I brought over?
Oh, look the same.
That's why I gave you.
I think there's a leprechaun in the room.
Are we all caught up now? We have a budget. Okay. Okay. Bill 26-036 passes 8-0, so we have a budget. Okay, moving on to Bill 26-044. Ms. Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26-044 be read and placed upon the floor for discussion.
Been regularly moved and second, and the clerk shall read Bill 26-044.
Amending the commencement of the term of the prior appointment number 26-023 of the following member to the Mansfield Public Arts Commission, said term to be amended to commence immediately and declaring an emergency.
Is there any discussion on Bill 26-044? Hearing none. Ms. Robertson?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move in respect to Bill 26-044, it be placed upon the floor for final passage.
Been regularly moved and seconded. Council shall cast a vote for final passage of Bill 26-044. Bill passes 8-0. Bill 26-045, Ms. Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26-045 be read and placed upon the floor for discussion.
Been regularly moved and seconded. The clerk shall read Bill 26-045.
Approving the appointment of Ryan Sheely to the Mansfield Public Arts Commission to replace Commission member Lee Tassif and to complete his term commencing immediately.
Is there any discussion on Bill 26-045? Hearing none, Ms. Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26-045 be placed upon the floor for final passage.
Been really moved and seconded. Council shall cast their vote for final passage of Bill 26-045. Bill passes 8-0. Bill 26-046, Mr. Miranda.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26046 be placed upon the floor and read for further discussion.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. The clerk shall read Bill 26-046.
Approving reappointments by the mayor to the Board of Utility Appeals.
Is there any discussion on Bill 26-46? Hearing none, Mr. Miranda.
I move that Bill 26046 be placed upon the floor for final passage.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. Council shall cast their vote for final passage of Bill 26-046. Bill passes 8-0. Bill 26-047, Mrs. Meyer.
Thank you, sir. I move that Bill 26-047 be read and placed upon the floor for discussion.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. The clerk shall read Bill 26-047.
Reappointing members to the Police Review and Community Police Relations Commission, said appointments to be effective immediately and declaring an emergency.
Is there any discussion on Bill 26-047? Ms. Meyer.
I would just like to extend a thank you to my fellow council members for getting on this after the last meeting. And it seems like I think we've got just about everybody filled, and we should be able to appoint. I know several of them went for their background checks already, and so we should be able to get this commission filled, hopefully, at least with a quorum at the next meeting. So thank you all very much.
Mr. Diaz.
I just want to thank Tammy McLaughlin. I know that it's hard to get a lot of gratitude publicly, but you are so appreciated. You are a fantastic leader, and you helped transform this police review commission into something that just totally elevated. And thank you for not giving up on us. Thank you for caring about our community and accountability, and you are completely valued.
I believe I saw Mr. Fouquet.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to commend the press for the articles that did generate some interest on this, and it was a nice article and everything. So appreciate that.
Any other discussion on Bill 2647? Okay. With that, Mrs. Meyer.
Thank you, sir. I move that Bill 26-047 be placed upon the floor for final passage.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. Council shall cast their vote for final passage of Bill 26-047. Bill passes 8-0. Bill 26-048, Mr. Fouquet.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26048 be read and placed upon the floor for discussion.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. The clerk shall read Bill 26-048.
Reappointing the following members to the Downtown Improvement Advisory Board for a term commencing July 1st, 2026, and declaring an emergency.
Any discussion on Bill 26-048? Hearing none, Mr. Fouquet.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26048 be placed upon the floor for final consideration.
Second.
Regularly moved and seconded. Council shall cast their vote for final passage of Bill 26-048. Bill passes 8-0. Bill 26-049, Mrs. Meyer.
Thank you, sir. I move that Bill 26-049 be read and placed upon the floor for discussion.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. The clerk shall read Bill 26-049.
Amending Section 7, 19, and 32 of Ordinance Number 25-211, adopting personnel positions, pay grades, and salaries for certain employees of the City of Mansfield 2026 payroll year and declaring an emergency.
Any discussion on Bill 26-049? Hearing none. Mrs. Meyer.
Thank you, sir. I move that Bill 26-049 be placed upon the floor for final passage.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. Council shall cast their vote for final passage of Bill 26-049. Bill passes 8-0. Bill 26-50. Mr. Miranda.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26050 be read and placed upon the floor for discussion.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. The clerk shall read Bill 26-50.
Authorizing the Public Works Director to purchase, according to Sourcewell contract, one Q's C550 camera system from MTech of 5642 Transportation Boulevard, Garfield Heights, Ohio 44125, in the amount not to exceed $170,960 for use by the Sewer Repair Department and declaring an emergency.
Is there any discussion on Bill 26-50? Hearing none. Mr. Miranda.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26050 be placed upon the floor for final passage.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. Council shall cast their vote for final passage of Bill 2650. Bill passes 8-0. Bill 26-51, Mr. Diaz.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26-051 be read and placed upon the floor for discussion.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. The clerk shall read Bill 26-51.
Authorizing the Public Works Director to enter into a joint maintenance agreement with the Madison Township trustees.
Is there any discussion on Bill 26-51? Mr. Diaz.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26-051 be placed upon the floor for final consideration.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Council shall cast their vote for final passage of Bill 26-51. Bill passes 8-0. Bill 26-052, Ms. Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26-052 be placed upon the floor.
Oh, no.
Or no,
These were not,
for first read.
yeah, these were,
Yes, so ignore. Yep,
First read.
first read.
yeah. Do you want to? I'll just read it.
Yeah, just read it.
I made, the motion for the first read and for discussion. Yeah.
Okay. Been regularly moved and seconded that we have a first read on Bill 26-052 and then discussion.
Authorizing the mayor to submit an annual action plan for PY 2026, indicating proposed uses for the city's 2026 community development block grant funds under the provisions of Public Law 93-383 as amended and declaring an emergency.
Any questions, discussion on Bill 26-52? Hearing nothing, that shall be considered the first read on that bill. Bill 26-53, Ms. Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move in respect to Bill 26-053 that be placed on the floor for a first read.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. The clerk read Bill 26-053.
Authorizing the mayor to submit Mansfield's PY 2026 action plan to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development for PY 2026 Home Investment Partnership Program funds and declaring an emergency.
Is there any discussion on Bill 26-53? Hearing none, that also will be considered the first read on that Bill 26-53. Moving on to Bill 26-54, Ms. Mounts.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26054 be read and placed upon the floor for discussion.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. The clerk shall read Bill 26-054.
setting forth statement of municipal services the city of Mansfield, Ohio will provide to the 112.538 plus or minus acres of land located in Madison and Mifflin townships and proposed to be annexed to the city of Mansfield, Ohio via an expedited type 2 annexation pursuant to RC 709.021 and 709.023 and the buffer requirements the city of Mansfield will enforce as provided by RC 709.023C.
Any discussion on Bill 26-054?
Can
Ms.
I?
Mount?
Oh,
Oh,
go ahead.
Just wanted to, this is a comment that applies to the next couple pieces. I appreciate the concerns of the neighbors that live right around there, and I'm glad for this period of time where everybody can get together, do all this testing, do all the agreements needed, and make sure everything is ironed out before it comes back for final approval after all that's ironed out. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody working on the process, and we are glad to see it moving along and meeting all those points that it needs to.
Mayor? Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just kind of want to echo what Councilperson Mount said. I do appreciate people showing up. I know that this project has generated a lot of passion in various ways, and I think that you couldn't honestly pick a company that at least has been very open and has been very receptive to the concerns. I know a lot of my concerns were quelled in speaking with the mayor and some of the others, and I really appreciate that.
Mr. Fouquet?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say that having run several elections and being grilled by constituents and the press and everything, one of the biggest questions they always ask is, what are you doing to get jobs into Mansfield? And here we've got an opportunity to bring forth a couple hundred jobs. The pay rates are supposed to be relatively exciting. And I'm glad that it sounds like we're moving forward on this. I think there's a lot of moving pieces. And I really look forward to the relationship with the city and the townships and our new resident Buc-ee's there.
Any other? Ms. Davis-Weiss?
I also wanted to add, I do appreciate the concerns by the community, but one of the things that that is kind of innovative with Buc-ee's is we can't discount the concept. This is a rather large corporation. So the onset of jobs that are going to bring in some things that will be beneficial, technology, all of those things take place with a company this large and with the offerings of income and salary as high as they are. So I would encourage people to take a look at that a bit more because you'd probably be impressed with some of the things that Buc-ee's will offer to this area.
Excuse me. Mr. Dewey? Diaz. Dewey. Getting late.
No one knew, right? I was particularly moved by the public speakers, the great thing about social media is hearing those different perspectives. And, up until the news hit, I'll admit, I didn't really know what Buc-ee's was. That shows you I don't really leave a lot, Ohio. But what I really didn't realize was how much it's received. And bringing the extra job, something we're always talking about, something that people keep requesting. And I did look up some of the wages, which is real competitive. But I just want to say, as Councilwoman Mounts, echo her is, we love to hear these perspectives, but I really have heard nothing but positive things about this coming. I think it's a game changer. I think it's an area of the city and the county that I think will just take it to a whole different level. But I would say for the communication I've had personally and seen, it's been like 95% or more for it. So I support that.
Thank you, Mr. Diaz. Any other council? Oh, yeah, I was waiting until council was done.
Okay, sorry. I just kind of, again, addressing the next few things. I do want to first just mention we have Trustee Fletcher from Madison Board back there that joined us tonight. I did want to make sure that everyone knew, I forgot to say it earlier, that both the Mifflin Board of Trustees and the Madison Township Board of Trustees have consented to this agreement, or to this annexation. So the next step tonight, or the next step after tonight rather, is it will go to the county commissioners this Thursday. And the commissioners actually have final say. And then it comes back to us to accept, essentially, at the end of those 60 days. And then I just really want to underscore a couple of things just that I saw out on social media. I, again, said this at the commissioners meeting, but really just for the benefit of everyone else. The annexation is 112 acres. It is not 112 acres of farmland, though. A giant portion of what's being annexed is 71. So it's not, I know there was concerns from folks that were taking farmland off. I mean, certainly there is farmland there that is going to be used for Buc-ee's. I'm not even sure if it's been farmed recently, but it is not 112 acres. So I did want to call people's attention to that. And also, I would just say, I mean, when Buc-ee's first reached out to me, I think it was May last year. And so before we're done with this process, this will have gone on a year. And, really just public the last week, which is kind of hard to believe. But, these kind of numbers, when you hear more of the specifics, really do not come around with retail very often. You sometimes will get high amounts of jobs in retail, but they're mostly part-time. The amount of payroll that they're expected to generate is nowhere near what this one is. This looks more like a small manufacturer. The impact that it has, and I think it really poses a unique opportunity for us in Mansfield in that really, I'm just saying a guess here. They have not told me their numbers, but, I would guess 98% of the income is coming from people out of the area. So it is really a unique proposition for us. I'm sure that you saw when this news went public, it certainly went far and wide in Ohio at the very least. Buc-ee's has really, we had a chance to visit one of them. They'll be opening their Dayton store at the beginning of April. So, they really go out of their way to work with the community. The folks that we have worked with have been great. They certainly are concerned with neighbors. Their properties are pristine. I mean, again, at the end of the day, in any development project, there's going to be someone next door. And unless you buy that property, it's tough. And I get that. But I think as far as a corporate citizen, we're going to see them be a very good team partner in the community. And again, I was thrilled when I opened my email that day back in May to see that they were already looking at us. And then our role really has been to facilitate and make sure that we're able to meet the needs, which I am really proud to say that we are. This has been a team project. I would like to, shout out the chamber. Barrett and Tom Vanderhorst there have been essential. Also, the county commissioners, in particular, Commissioner Vero has really helped behind the scenes pulling things together. Of course, we couldn't do it without the township trustees' consent as well. So, one of the things that we talk about in this community is our special sauce is our ability to collaborate and work together. And there are places in Ohio you can go where these types of annexations are a fight. And in fact, in Huber Heights, though Buc-ee's was patient, there was a giant lawsuit. That's why that got so delayed between the city and the county. So I'm shocked that they waited. It must be a really good site because normally that would make a prospect run. So, the fact that we have been able to work so collaboratively here really is unique. And, Barrett and I probably have the opportunity to hear that from developers more often than everyone else. But I just wanted to kind of underscore that. I really do believe that this is the start of more great things. We had downtown at the last meeting in the housing project. There are a lot of other projects that we're talking about. We'll see what comes to fruition. It's like batting averages, you don't get 100%, but, I'm excited and just wanted to kind of share a little bit more of that since we didn't have as much time in caucus.
Very good. Thank you, Mayor, for all that. Anyone else in council? Okay.
I guess just one last comment. I recall when this interchange was built a couple decades ago with the thought that soon development would come, something would definitely come. And it was a long time in coming, but to have something that will provide this many good paying jobs is much bigger than I would have expected. And it's exciting that that work from decades ago is coming to fruition at last.
Anyone else? Okay. With that, Ms. Mount.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26054 be placed upon the floor for final consideration.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. Council shall cast their vote for final passage of Bill 26-054. Bill passes 8-0. Bill 26-55, Ms. Mount.
Mr. President, I move that Bill 26055 be read and placed upon the floor for discussion.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. Clerk, will we read Bill 26-055?
Consenting to the annexation to the city of Mansfield, Ohio, certain territory proposed to be so annexed pursuant to an annexation petition filed with the Board of County Commissioners of Richland County, Ohio, by John Studeman, agent for petitioners, as provided for in Ohio Revised Code Section 709.023.
Is there any discussion on Bill 26-55? Ms. Mount.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26055 be placed upon the floor for final consideration.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. Council shall cast their vote for final passage of Bill 26-055. Bill passes 8-0. 26-056, Ms. Mount.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26056 be read and placed upon the floor for discussion.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Clerk shall read Bill 26-056.
Determining that the zoning of 110.757 plus or minus acres of territory in Madison Township and 1.781 plus or minus acres of territory in Mifflin Township, Richland County, Ohio, proposed to be annexed to the city of Mansfield will not permit uses clearly incompatible with the existing township zoning pursuant to RC 709.023C.
Any discussion on Bill 26-056? Okay, hearing none. Ms. Mount.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26056 be placed upon the floor for final consideration.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. Council shall cast their vote for final passage of Bill 26-056. Bill passes 8-0. Bill 26-057, Ms. Mount.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26057 be read and placed upon the floor for discussion.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. The clerk shall read Bill 26-057.
Amending the zoning districts map of the city of Mansfield, Ohio, ordinance number 04-208 to rezone 5 parcels located at 2385 Possum Run Road, 2424 Possum Run Road, 2450 Possum Run Road, and 2470 Possum Run Road from prior township zoning classification to B2 general business district classification.
Any discussion on Bill 26-057? Hearing none. Ms. Mount.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26057 be placed upon the floor for final consideration.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. Council shall cast their vote for final passage of Bill 26-057. Bill passes 8-0. Bill 26-058, Mr. Miranda.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26-058 be placed on and read upon the floor for discussion.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. The clerk shall read Bill 26-058.
Authorizing the Public Works Director to enter into a lease agreement according to Sourcewell contract for one Super Products Camel Back Truck from MTech 5642 Transportation Boulevard, Garfield Heights, Ohio 44125 for the Water and Sewer Repair Departments not to exceed the amount of $598,534 over 5 years with the option to purchase at lease end.
Is there any discussion on Bill 26-058? Ms. Daly?
I have a question in terms of, we are going to lease this vehicle and the option to purchase at the end of the lease. Why would you want to buy it at the end of the lease?
It's an option. That's the way the leases are set
Okay,
up.
not
So,
necessarily that you want-
yeah, we
Okay.
probably will not, considering the
Okay.
wear and tear it
So I
gets those
wondered.
5 years. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay, any other questions, discussion on 58? Hearing none, Mr. Miranda?
Mr. President, I move that Bill 26058 be placed upon the floor for final passage.
Been regularly moved and seconded. Council shall cast their vote for final passage of Bill 26-058. Bill passes 8-0. Bill 26-059, Mr. Diaz.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 26-059 be read and placed upon the floor for discussion.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. The clerk shall read Bill 26-059.
Authorizing the Public Works Director to enter into a contract or contracts for the Glessner Avenue infrastructure improvements and declaring an emergency.
Is there any discussion on Bill 26-059? Okay, hearing none. Mr. Diaz?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Bill 25-059 be placed upon the floor for final passage.
Second.
Been regularly moved and seconded. Council shall cast their vote for final passage of Bill 26-059. Bill passes 8-0. Is there anything further to come before council this evening?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been regularly moved and seconded. We adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. We are adjourned.